Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, aka Part 6, is slightly better than Part 5, but still a piece of shit. Fun fact about this movie, this was the first Halloween movie I ever saw when I was around 6 years old, so I have a bit of nostalgia for it, and maybe that's why I don't hate it as much as Part 5, but still, this is a terrible film. So this movie takes place 6 years after the events of Part 5, and Jamie has been kidnapped by this Thorn Cult, and she's been impregnated. She gives birth to the baby, she escapes, and Michael goes after her. And she gets killed in the process, but she hides her baby as well, so Michael does not get the baby. So pretty much the reason why she got impregnated is because the Thorn Cult, whoever these guys are, they want her bloodline to continue, and they want to make the sacrifice for their religion or whatever the hell they believe in every Halloween. So after surviving Halloween 4 and 5, Jamie just gets killed like that in the beginning of the film. Like a throwaway character, like nothing. And Danielle Harris didn't even come back for this movie. She was offered to do Curse of Michael Myers, but she read the script and she said, hell no, can't blame her. So they got a new actress, and she did okay-ish, but they just threw away her character like that, like nothing. Just fucking lame. So it turns out that the reason Michael Myers kills people, not because he's pure evil, not because he's a monster, it's because he's just an innocent pawn. Well, not innocent maybe, but he's just a pawn for the Thorn. These Thorn members, whoever they are, they pick a person to do their bidding, and that is the reason why he has been doing what he's been doing throughout the franchise. What? Oh, and the mysterious Man in Black in Halloween 5, he's the leader of the Thorn Cult, and who is he? He's Dr. Wynn. Who the fuck is Dr. Wynn? It's that guy who was with Loomis in the original for like one scene, for like 30 seconds. He's the doctor who was talking to him when Loomis said, well, somebody must have given Michael Myers lessons, driving lessons. Yeah, that guy. He's the Thorn leader. Who gives a shit? And by the end of the movie, none of this Thorn shit matters anyway, because Michael Myers kills all of the motherfuckers. So the whole Thorn shit, the explanation, was completely pointless. I know that's the theatrical cut, but I know the original cut explains, not that it explains it more, but they go all the way with it by the end of the film. But the theatrical cut, they completely dropped the whole Thorn thing, so it was a waste of time. And Michael just becomes Michael again, out of nowhere. And speaking of Michael, he's played again by George P. Wilbur, just like in Part 4. And again, I still don't care for his portrayal as Michael. It's not really intimidating. Is it just me, or he got fat in this movie? Michael Myers got fat. I don't know why. Lay off the cheeseburgers, Michael. I will say though, the mask in this movie is better than the mask from Part 4 and 5. But it's still kind of I still don't really like it all much. But it's an improvement over 4 and 5. Those masks were shit. As for everyone else, you do have Donald Pleasence coming back one last time as Dr. Loomis. And his performance was good. It was much better than Part 5. He definitely acted more like Loomis in this film. He's a lot older, and I kind of liked how they got rid of his scars and his face and his hand. They don't explain it in the theatrical cut. They do explain in the producer's cut that he got plastic surgery. So okay, that's fine. But I did like his role, even though it's limited compared to all the other ones, all the other movies. But he did fine, and he definitely has more scenes in the producer's cut, which is one thing that is good about the producer's cut, in my opinion. But the only thing that's really disappointing is because they had to cut out the original ending. He really has no closure, and it just that part feels disappointing. But when it comes to performance, he did a good job. As for the rest of the characters, I didn't really care for them at all. I will say they're a lot better than the characters in Part 5. They're not as annoying, but I didn't really care for them. You have the first movie from Ant-Man himself, Paul Rudd, who I like Paul Rudd, but in this movie, I don't know, it's just me, but he acted like a robot. Nothing he said felt natural. I know it's his first movie, but it's like, and I know they try to make him a little bit creepy at first because he's a weird guy, and he's playing Tommy Doyle, by the way, which is the kid Laurie was babysitting in the original, the one who was afraid of the boogeyman. He's he That's the role he plays, and I guess it makes sense why he's a bit weird, but it just the way he says his lines is a bit robotic and unnatural. I mean, it's not a good role, but it's iffy first start. But I like Paul Rudd either way. And you also have I forgot Marianne Hagan. I think the actress name is. She plays the lead girl. She's she's not terrible, but nothing much to her character. She has a son named Danny. He is hearing the voice of the Man in Black, and I didn't care for that kid. Not that he was annoying or anything, but it's like, he's just there, and they're the like. Here's the weird thing. The girl, she is part of the Strode family that's living in the Michael Myers house, which is back to the original look, by the way. The dad bought the house, the Michael Myers house, because no one wanted to buy it. Maybe there's a reason why, but and no one else, no one else in the family that lives there knows the Michael Myers house. I mean, you have a scene where the the brother of the girl and his girlfriend are being interviewed by this douchebag radio disc jockey guy, and he tells him, "Hey, how's it like to live in Michael Myers' house?" And he's like, I don't know. I didn't know I was living in the Michael Myers house." I'm like, dude, everybody in town knows that's Michael Myers house. How the fuck did you not know? How then? How the hell do you not know that you live in the house of the notorious serial killer ever in that town? You must be just a level stupid for not even knowing that. Ugh. And I mentioned the dad. The dad in this movie is such a douchebag. He hits his daughter. He tells her that, oh, we were living so much better until you came along with your bastard son in front of the kid. And then that's when he hits her. And then you have the little moment where the kid has a knife on him. And then you're thinking, yes, please stab him, please. But, he does die later in the film where Mike Myers shoved him to the, where the electricity controls are, and his head explodes, which is a nice practical effect. But yeah, it was a fucking douchebag. What idiot buys the Mike Myers house? The Speaking of stupid, there's a scene where Paul Rudd uh, goes to the train station because he heard when Jamie called the radio station from the train station trying to call for help, trying to contact Loomis, and he heard it through the tape. So he goes there, trying to look what he can find, whatever he was looking for, I guess clues, and he sees a trail of blood that leads to the bathroom, and I'm thinking, how the fuck does no one notice that? I mean, that's plainly obvious there. There's a trail of blood that leads to the bathroom. Did everyone... And there's a lot of people in the train station. And then, what... Were they looking up all day? Like, ooh, I'm gonna look up. What was that? Blood? No, it's probably ketchup. Just leave it there. Where the fuck is the security? And Paul Rudd goes to the bathroom and finds the baby that's crying. No one hears the baby that Jamie left, her baby. What the... Who directed this? Oh, Joe Chapelle. Not related to Dave Chappelle, but the guy obviously didn't give a fuck about making the movie, making a good movie. He only cared to, this is confirmed by the way, he only cared for having a 3-picture deal with Dimension Films. Well, that didn't turn out so good because he made nothing but shitty films. But anyway, Paul Rudd takes the baby and takes care of the baby. And he gets help from the girl. I don't remember her name. Kara? Was it Kara? I think it was Kara. Yeah. They take care of the baby by the end of the film because the Thorn Cult is after the baby. Oh yeah, and you have another stupid scene where they find out who was behind this. They found out it was Dr. Wynn the whole time. And the other Thorn members come after them. Kara goes upstairs for the baby, and then the old lady that's living in the house, they're in. She's part of the Thorn Cult as well. and then they break through the door, and then Kara jumps through the window. I'm like, yeah, that's really gonna do something. She fell and got knocked out, and they took her anyway, so that didn't do shit. And they let Paul Rudd and Dr. Loomis, they let him go, pretty much. Aren't you supposed to kill them or stop them? And they just let him go. And of course, it's especially stupid in producer's cut because they stopped the satanic ritual that they were supposed to do. And it's just, this movie's a fucking mess. Another stupid moment in the film, after that douchebag radio disc jockey dude, after he gets killed, apparently Michael Myers put him up in a tree and nobody noticed, and his blood was dripping, and there's a little girl saying, "Oh, it's raining, mommy." That's blood, little girl. I mean, shouldn't you know what blood is? She's like, "It's warm." No shit, it's warm. And the body falls down, and then everybody was like, "Oh my god, did you not notice?" I mean, it's clear as day. Fucking Paul Rudd noticed it in 5 seconds. And the music to this movie sucks. It's pretty much the Halloween theme song, but it's an electric guitar version. I mean, wow, that's fucking lame. I know in the producer's cut, it's more of the original theme throughout, but I'm talking about mostly the theatrical cut here. It's just stupid guitar version. I'm like, what? That's dumb. There is that one moment in the film where um, the mother, she gets killed, and I do like that shot where she pulls down the towel, and then you see Michael with an axe. I do like that little shot, and then he kills her. And he swings the axe, and you see blood spurting on the towel. I do like the little shot where he's just standing there with the hammer, with the axe. It would be pretty interesting if he did have a hammer though. But that's one little decent moment shot in the film. The climax of the film is pretty lame. They go to the place where the Thorn has their headquarters or whatever it is, and they don't do anything. They get killed by Michael Myers, and freaking Tommy Doyle and Kara, they set a trap for Michael where Tommy just injects him with tranquilizers, I guess. This time needles, and he just hits him with the pipe, and that's it. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing that you got in Halloween 5. Lame. So they leave with the baby, and Dr. Loomis says like, "Oh wait, like you guys go. I have some business to take care of." And then the next thing you see is just Michael Myers' mask on the floor, and then a needle, and then you hear Dr. Loomis screaming. That's it. That's the ending of the theatrical cut, and like that's lame. I know they couldn't reshoot a new scene with Donald Pleasence because he passed away sadly after they filmed, after they were done filming. But the original ending was he goes back there, he sees Michael's body on the floor, and he takes the mask off, and it's Dr. Wynn. He hasn't been killed, and he says, "Michael's gone. It's your turn now." And he gives him the Thorn curse, and Michael heads off, who God knows where, and that's when you see Loomis screaming. That's what you hear in the theatrical cut, and that's it. Like, wow, it's kind of a shitty way to end anyway. I mean, the producer's cut has a shitty ending, and the theatrical cut has a shitty non-ending, so lose. Nobody wins. But the producer's cut, it's not that much of, in my opinion, it's not that much of an improvement over the theatrical cut. Yeah, they don't just drop the whole Thorn thing by the end. I mean, they do go with it, but it's still kind of shitty. I'm not a fan of the Thorn crap. I mean, in the producer's cut, Paul Rudd, Tommy Doyle stops Michael with a Thorn spell that makes him just freeze. Okay, that's lame. We find out that in the producer's cut, the dad of the baby that Jamie has is Michael's. Who the fuck came up with the idea? I have no idea. I'm glad that's out of the theatrical cut, but I was like, really? An incest baby? Wow. Pfft. What the fuck? And you have, what's good about it, I'll say, you do have more scenes with Donald Pleasence, which is nice. Some scenes make a little more sense, like there was a scene where Tommy meets Loomis again, I guess, and Loomis is like, he's just in the hospital randomly, and the theatrical cut, that made no sense, but in the producer's cut, he's there because Jamie's still alive in the hospital. Or she just died in the hospital, I believe so. She didn't die right away in the barn where she got killed in the theatrical cut. She went to the hospital, and it was Dr. Wynn who killed her, which kind of doesn't make sense because it was Michael who was supposed to kill his family to because that's what the Thorn Cult wants. I don't know. None of it makes sense, but Donald Pleasence being in more of the producer's cut, it's nice. You know, that's really it. Everything else about it, it's still shit. So overall, Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, even though it's a little bit better than Halloween 5, it's a mess of a film. It's pretty bad. A lot of things don't make any sense. Most of the actors aren't very good in it, except for Donald Pleasence. The kills are just kind of, well, one or two kills are decent. Everything else is kind of just lame. You have a scene where the guy's girlfriend gets killed while Kara watches through the telescope, and it's done in slow motion. It's really laughable. I don't know why, but every time I see that part, I laugh. Call me weird, but the kills are not much because the characters are blah, you know. Yeah, didn't really care for any of the characters except for Dr. Loomis. And the script is pretty bad. I mean, the Thorn shit, I don't care for. They throw it out the window at the end of the theatrical cut and the producer's cut. It's still shit. I don't like that Michael was a patsy just for the Thorn Cult. Again, like, they wrote that stupid mysterious man in black character in part 5, so they put themselves in the corner. They had to explain, you know, the Thorn tattoo when they got this movie, and it is what it is. So I don't know, what did you guys think of Curse of Michael Myers? Did you like it? Did you hate it? You know, do you prefer the producer's cut? A lot of fans do, but I guess it's not that much better, to be honest. But thanks for watching. You guys have a happy Halloween, and adios. And I'm gonna do something about this movie. Okay, Curse of Michael Myers, just because you didn't piss me off as much as part 5 doesn't mean I'm not gonna do the same thing. Your boring ass Thorn Cult bullshit plot that goes nowhere. I'm gonna kick your ass out of here right now. You see that? It's part 5, still there. Now it's your turn. Get the fuck out of here.